Hello all, this is Cody Wyman from Musician's Helper. I am doing this About Me video because I wanted to share my story with you, how this site got started and why I'm doing this site still. I'm a strong believer in the quality of every musician having an opportunity to learn music and to play music. That is why I created this site, to share my story and to give hope to others who may not otherwise have hope, and to give a student's music teacher hope that they can learn or teach the music to the students. My story is that I was born with cerebral palsy. To be more accurate, it is more concentrated on my left side than my right side, even though it is in every muscle or bone in my body. The one thing you have to understand about cerebral palsy with all degrees of it is that it doesn't get any better, it won't get any worse, but it is there for life. And this has affected my musical abilities, quite a lot. I've been playing piano for over 20 years. Since I was 2 years old, in fact, I started playing by ear, and I've had 10 years of lessons starting at age 11. And from what I can tell you is, it is a daunting experience for students to learn how to play a musical instrument, even if they don't have disabilities. But it is 10 to 100 times harder for a musician with an intellectual, mental, or physical disability to learn music. It really is. Um, Especially piano, there are a lot of stretching exercises and positions that you have to memorize. And some of those positions can be very, very hard to do and to replicate. That's why it's important that there's a website out there that will show you alternate fingerings, that will show you alternate ways of stretching, warm-up stretches to get your hands ready for the piano lesson or for the piano practice so that your hands don't get tired as easily. Um, it is important that you, as teachers, give your students time to learn the skills. They will need much more time than the traditional student will because of their disability, and it is important that you understand what their disabilities are and how you can teach those students with those disabilities. And that's what I am trying to bring to the Musician's Helper site, is a comprehensive guide to teaching students with disabilities. And students, I'm wanting you to be able to play music regardless if you have a disability or not. Music should be a level playing field for everyone who has got the gumption and the talent to do so. I know that there are times when, I'm playing that, it just doesn't make sense. My cerebral palsy makes it almost impossible to, make the necessary connections from the head to the hands that need to come alive in order to make the pieces come alive. And I spend a lot of time trying to practice those, and I spend a lot of time sort of frustrated within the practice room trying to get those things perfected. But in the end, if I master alternate fingering techniques and uh, alternate stretching techniques, then I can get the pieces done in half the time, or maybe even a quarter of the time that it would take. That's why, when I first went into the music program at Cal State, there was a professor there who taught piano and composition, and he was my biggest mentor while I was in that program. He had a son that also had cerebral palsy, and the son was blind as well. And so he understood what it took for a disabled person to learn the piano and to make connections with the music. And so he is the one who inspired me to come out with these alternate fingering exercises that I'll be putting on my website, because he's the one who taught me how to, do alternate fingerings, because sometimes the fingerings on the sheet music are just impossible for certain pianist hands to do. And even more impossible for the disabled musician whose hands don't work quite as well as they should. So, fast forward, I'm not only able to do the pieces better because of alternate fingerings and alternate exercises, but every time I play a certain piece of music or certain pieces of music, or I sing or I do any sort of musical activity, people are always drawn to that. And people, it's like people are in tears when I play my music or music that is from a different composer that they enjoy. And let me tell you, there's nothing that beats playing music or composing music with a disability. There's nothing that comes close to the reward that I get from playing or singing or writing music for people to hear and enjoy. And I want to instill that courage in that struggling musician or the struggling music teacher trying to teach the struggling musician that it can be done. And I am proof positive that this can be done. You can beat the odds and become a musician despite your disability and despite your um, shortcomings. And, if you have a disability and you're a musician, you're a gift from God. Let me just say, you are an honest gift from God if you have the talent and the perseverance to go through music as I have with a disability. You are among the top. You are among the top people that I would like to get to know and would like to meet at some point. Um, so yeah, I hope this site will give you insight and inspiration, and I hope that you will come visit it frequently, and I hope that, you know, you will become all that you were created to be, uh, with or without a disability. And I just want to pass on, I'll see you at the top. It can be done, and have fun.